Let's be real, if you weren't paying attention to softball before 2020, you missed the build-up to something absolutely incredible. But if you've been watching these past few years, you've witnessed the sport completely blow up in ways nobody saw coming. Remember when college softball was that sport you'd maybe catch on ESPN2 if you were flipping channels? Those days are over, dead and buried. The 2020s have turned softball into must-watch television, and it happened faster than anyone expected. It started building around 2019 to 2020, but then COVID hit and everything got weird. But here's the crazy part. Instead of killing the momentum, the pandemic actually made things explode even more. People were stuck at home looking for sports content, and when softball came back, it came back with a vengeance. After a 13-year absence, softball finally returned to the Olympics at the 2020 Tokyo Games, held in 2021 due to COVID. For Team USA, it was a long-awaited chance to reclaim gold, but it didn't end the way they hoped. USA cruised through the round-robin stage, going 5-0 with dominant pitching from Kat Osterman, Monica Abbott, and a clutch walk-off from Kelsey Stewart. But in the gold medal game, they faced Japan, who had home field advantage and a legendary ace in Yukiko Ueno. Japan shut down Team USA 2-0, claiming their second straight Olympic gold after also winning in 2008. It was a crushing loss for the Americans, especially for veterans like Osterman, who came out of retirement just for one more shot. But here's the problem. Softball isn't always part of the Olympics. It wasn't included in Paris 2024 because the host country chose not to have it. The good news is it will return for the Los Angeles 2028 Olympics, but after that, no one knows for sure if it will stay. Between 2021 and 2023, Oklahoma softball didn't just win. They dominated in a way college sports had never seen. Led by longtime head coach Patty Gasso, the team turned into a powerhouse that crushed records and made every game feel like a big event. The face of the team was Jocelyn Alo, a powerful hitter who broke the NCAA all-time home run record with 122 home runs. She hit massive shots with ease, and fans started tuning in just to see what she'd do next. Alo's success helped bring national attention to the sport, but it wasn't just her. The whole team was stacked with stars like Tiare Jennings, Jada Coleman, Grace Lyons, and Jordy Ball. In 2021, they hit a record 161 home runs as a team. In 2023, they finished with a nearly perfect season, 61 wins and only one loss, winning their third national championship in a row. And just as they were dominating on the field, something else was happening off it that would change the sport forever. Social media changed the game forever. At the same time, Oklahoma was lighting up the scoreboard. Softball players were lighting up social media. For the first time, college athletes weren't just known for what they did during the game. They became personalities, influencers, and brands. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram gave players direct access to fans. They shared everything from team dances to daily routines, workouts, travel days, and unfiltered moments behind the scenes. That visibility created something softball had never truly seen before. Players like Jada Coleman, Jordy Ball, and Bri Ellis became widely recognized not just for their talent, but for their presence. You didn't just know their stats, you knew their vibe. As a result, fans started following players as much as they followed teams. The connection felt personal, especially for younger audiences who looked up to these athletes not just as competitors, but as relatable, inspiring figures. Then came NIL in 2021, and suddenly everything we thought we knew about college sports got thrown out the window. Softball players could finally make money off their popularity, and let me tell you, some of them were ready for it. The girls who had built huge social media followings suddenly had real earning power. Brand deals, sponsorships, autograph sessions, stuff that used to only happen in professional sports was now happening in college softball. This brought in even more attention and legitimized the sport in ways we'd never seen. The transfer portal turned college softball into free agency, and honestly, it made everything more interesting. Suddenly, rosters were changing every year, super teams were forming, and every season felt completely unpredictable. Players like Bri Ellis could leave programs that weren't working for them and find places where they could thrive. This created better competition across the board because talent got distributed more evenly. It also created drama and storylines that kept fans engaged year-round. not just during the season. The 2020s were all about game-changing players. Freshmen made big impacts, transfers dominated, veterans broke records. One name that stood out was Bree Ellis. She started at Auburn, then moved to Alabama, and quickly became one of the most dangerous hitters in college softball. Her power was unreal. If softball had a version of Barry Bonds, it might be her. In 2022, as a freshman, she hit 20 home runs, led the SEC in slugging, and won SEC Freshman of the Year. She swung hard, hit big, and made it look easy. Pitchers started to avoid giving her anything to hit. One mistake, and the ball was gone. Fans noticed. They started calling her the Barry Bonds of softball. In an interview, Ellis was asked what she thought of the comparison, but she praised Barry Bonds instead.
It's crazy to be even in the same sentence as a legend like Barry Bonds. And, you hear about him all the time growing up. And I would never think to compare my stats to Barry Bond, a baseball legend stats. But, they figured it out, and it's so cool. And people love to see it. It's a great perspective to put it in.
Another major star was Jordy Ball. She helped Oklahoma win 2 national championships, then shocked everyone by transferring to Nebraska.
I've always been a big homebody, and so even my freshman year, I had pretty strong feelings of homesickness, but every freshman does. So I was just like, every freshman's gonna be homesick. But then my second year, instead of those feelings going away, they continued to worsen, and so that's, I guess, when I started just knowing that my heart was always at home.
She brought talent, attention, and new energy to a team that needed it. The 2022 WCWS drew over 71,000 fans for the championship series, while games regularly pull in over 1 million viewers, beating many professional sports. Top players have follower counts that rival professional athletes and posts that get hundreds of thousands of likes. Youth softball registration numbers are at all-time highs, as kids pick up the sport because they want to be like their heroes. Now we've got Athletes Unlimited giving players professional opportunities after college. The sport finally has a legitimate post-college path that doesn't involve moving overseas or giving up the sport entirely. This has created a pipeline where the best college players can continue playing at a high level, which keeps them in the public eye and maintains the momentum the sport has built. It's solving one of softball's biggest historical problems: what happens after college. Look, every sport has its golden eras, but what's happening in softball right now is special because it's not just about the competition. It's about the complete transformation of how people view and consume the sport. This is the era that changed everything. This is when softball stopped being a niche sport and became appointment television. This is when players became celebrities. This is when the sport became cool. This is softball's greatest era, and we're living through it right now. If you want more softball documentaries, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because we're just getting started.